I'm Shannon,
And I'm Holly.
and this is a Girls Gone Curious podcast, where we talk about things that make us curious. So grab your favorite drink, sit back and relax, because your show is loading. Today's episode includes the following trigger warnings: mentioning topics of death of child, child abuse, strangulation, asphyxiation, and murder. This podcast is not suitable for children. Please listen with care. This is part 19 of 50 States, 50 Cases. Today we will be covering the states of Pennsylvania and Oregon. We apologize if we say any of the names or places wrong in today's cases.
Today's first case will take place in the state of Pennsylvania. This is the case of 18-month-old Iris Alfera. Iris Rita Alfera was born on December 2nd, 2021, in Butler, Pennsylvania. Her parents were Emily Alfera and Bailey Jacoby. Though they were no longer together, they remained in a good co-parent relationship. Emily would often dress Iris and her in matching clothes, whether it was just regular clothes or a swimsuit. Iris was described as pure sunshine and a bundle of love. She was always smiling, with her eyes sparkling with curiosity and wonder of the world around her. Iris was loved by all her family members, including her grandparents, Frank and Candace Alfera. Candace would later say in an interview, "She changed our lives, made us the happiest two people in the world. I used to tell Emily, 'Oh, I thought I loved you.' I said, 'I'm sorry, but Iris is this much more,' and she would get mad." At 6 months old, Iris was already crawling, wanting to explore the things around her. She loved playing with her pets and watching Bluey and Moana, often dancing to the music. Around 1 year old, Iris began to take an interest in educational videos, like Miss Rachel. She would try to mimic what the person was doing on the videos. At 18 months old, she was walking and saying her first couple of words. Also was starting to learn and know some basic sign language. On May 15, 2023, on Mother's Day, Emily made a post on her social media saying, "The greatest gift I could ever dream, your smiling face. I love you so much, Iris Rita. You make me so proud to be your mom." Emily and Iris lived with her grandparents, Emily's parents. It seemed like Emily had full custody of Iris until she turned about 13 months old. Bailey would have custody of Iris every Wednesday and every other weekend. Emily's family said that their relationship was peaceful, and it seemed like they both put Iris first. At the time the custody started, Bailey had a girlfriend living with him. This person would be Alicia Owens, who was a 20-year-old and was currently studying to become a nurse. Emily was pretty flexible with the custody of Iris. Even if it wasn't Bailey's day to have Iris, Emily would let Bailey take Iris if he requested to. While she was with Bailey, Emily made sure to keep in contact, always asking for pictures or videos of Iris. With them being in constant contact, this would cause a problem, or what people believe to be the start of Owen's jealousy. Frank and Candace would say they believed that her jealousy turned darker, leading into hatred and being obsessed with the constant contact between the two of them. This would turn into resentment against Iris. From February to June 2023, Owens made multiple and repetitive searches on her phone. These searches would become a crucial piece of evidence. Some of the searches included poisonous household items for babies. Can sunscreen poison a 1-year-old? And what happens if my child eats nail polish? On March 8th, 2023, other searches included symptoms of swallowing a battery. What happens if a child swallows a button battery? How many cases do children die from swallowing water beads? And then, water beads near me. Water beads are often used in crafts and sometimes as a child toy. A water bead can expand up to 1,500 times its original size. When a child or anyone swallows water beads, you should seek immediate medical treatment. It expands and absorbs large amounts of water and can lead to life-threatening intestinal blockage. It's also a choking hazard and can cause vomiting, severe pain, internal damage, and lead to sometimes emergency surgery. When Iris came home from her dad's house in early April, Emily noticed something alarming. When she went to change her diaper, she noticed jelly-like orbs in her stool, water beads. Over the next few days, she just noted more and immediately took her to the hospital. Over the course of 4 days, 20 water beads, 3 small button batteries, and 1 metal screw was found in Iris's stool. When swallowing a battery, it can get lodged in the throat and can cause a massive chemical burns, along with eroded tissue, perforated internal organs, and cause fatal bleeding. Emily told doctors that nothing like that was in her house, and if it was, it wasn't in reach of something Iris could get. However, being this serious of a case, the hospital had to call Lawrence County Children and Youth Services, CYS for short, to report possible abuse and neglect. April 5th, 2023, after Iris was discharged, Emily filed an emergency petition to suspend Bailey's visitation rights until an investigation was completed. The motion Emily claimed was the father's inability to supervise the child properly is causing harm and placing her in danger. No action on the judge's part was taken. Instead, the judge ordered both parents to take co-parenting classes. A hearing was scheduled for May 7, 2023, but it was postponed due to reports of an agreement reached. Emily's parents said that an agreement was never reached. She was told that she could be withheld visits and could be found in contempt of the court and risk losing custody of Iris. CYS conducted a brief check of both homes. This included checking off a checklist and just inspecting the premises with their eyes. After completing this, the case was closed. Bailey was allowed to continue the normal custody agreement. Iris would continue to come back in the same manner. Searches continued on Owen's phone, growing increasingly worse and more frequent. These would include: what happens if a child drinks acetone? Can nail polish remover poison a toddler? Beauty products that are toxic to children, and medications leading to cause accidental poisoning deaths in children. On June 20th, 5 days before the incident, Owen searched how does shaken baby syndrome happen. June 25th, 2023. On a Sunday in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, Iris was at her dad's house. It was only a couple hours before Iris was supposed to go back to her mom's house. Bailey left Iris in Owen's care while he went to do a quick grocery run. He claimed he was buying stuff for Iris before he had to drop her off. While at the store, Bailey receives a call from Owen. Something's wrong with Iris. I was in the living room when I heard a noise. I think she fell off the bed. She's not responding. Bailey left the groceries where they were and rushed home. He arrived just a couple minutes before the ambulance. The medical responders found Iris on the floor, unresponsive, barely breathing. She was rushed to the Jameson Hospital in Newcastle. Being too serious of injuries, she was airlifted to the UPMC Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh, about an hour away from Newcastle. Bailey called Emily saying, "Something happened to our daughter." Emily and her parents would leave immediately, rushing to the hospital. Iris's organs were rapidly shutting down. Her brain was swollen, bleeding in both retinas, and had internal brain hemorrhaging. Test results came back showing a high level of acetone in Iris's blood. Specialists that worked at the hospital and child protection told police that this wasn't a subtle case. There would have been signs and symptoms leading up to this. The symptoms would include vomiting, weakness, and confusion. Both Bailey and Owens said that there was no signs other than Iris vomiting a couple times in the last 24 hours. Iris would spend 4 days fighting for her life before ultimately passing away on June 29th, 2023 at 1:52 p.m. Her body was slowly deteriorating and all her organs were failing. The autopsy would show that Iris died from acute acetone poisoning. She also had internal injury that lines up with shaken baby syndrome or blunt force trauma, what you would normally see in a high-speed car crash. The medical examiner said Iris's death was caused by a homicide. Investigators began an immediate criminal investigation, getting stories from both Bailey and Owens. The things they told police didn't match. Owens claimed she was feeding Iris when Iris's body cramped up, causing her to fall off the bed. She also said that Iris's chest collapsed, so she began performing CPR. Owen said she called Bailey before ending the call with him to call 911. Investigating the house, the bed that Owens claimed Iris fell off was just a mattress laying flat on the ground. It was only maybe 6 inches off the ground, which doesn't line up with the type of injuries Iris had. Owen also insisted that they were always careful, making sure the cupboards were always locked and Iris was never left alone. The claim that both Bailey and Owens were saying that Iris was fine doesn't add up with the medical evidence found. Owens' phone had searches for poisons, child injuries, harmful substances, and how to pass or cheat a lie detector. All her searches were deleted, but eventually recovered. A group of Newcastle residents and family and friends of Iris created a group called Iris's Angels. This group organized and held fundraisers for child awareness abuse. They put up multiple signs with Iris's name and the words, "Justice for baby girl Iris." They also passed out and wore purple ribbons for remembrance for Iris and for advocating against child abuse. November 15th, 2023, a family member posted, "The monsters continue to hide behind their cameras, more comfortable than ever." On December 13th, Emily posted, 170 days without hearing her laugh. It's unbearable. January 10th, 2024, Owens was arrested and charged with criminal homicide, attempted homicide, aggravated assault of a child, and endangering the welfare of a child. If she is convicted, she will face life in prison without the possibility of parole. She was denied bail and is currently sitting in Lawrence County Jail. A preliminary hearing was scheduled for January 24th. The full trial was postponed due to changes in her legal defense team. A new trial date has not been set yet. While being arrested and being charged, Owen shows no emotion. Pennsylvania Attorney General Michelle Henry called this case heartbreaking. She also said, "It is hard to fathom someone taking deliberate steps to harm a completely helpless child, then mislead investigators about what happened." The investigation shows that, for months, the defendant conducted meticulously research on how certain substances harm children. Then she allegedly acted on her findings. Newcastle Police Chief Robert Salem said they didn't arrest Bailey because, at this time, there was no evidence at all linking him or anyone else to the baby's death. He also said there was nothing throughout the investigation to show that he had any knowledge or involvement about what happened to the baby. He was questioned multiple times and was cooperative. Iris's great aunt, Crystal Joseph, said in an interview, "Please let the world know monsters do exist. And watch for the personality change in parents when they begin to date. Parents, don't be so eager to leave children in the care of a person who shows jealousy or hatred towards the other parent. Iris's angels raised over $17,000. They have plans to create a scholarship in Iris's name. Also to host a 5K awareness run. And Iris's Closet, that is a program to provide school supplies and essentials to kids who need it. Emily became a vocal advocate for child protection reform, saying, "I want people to know her face. This is not just statistics. She was my daughter." She also filed a public appeal to lawmakers and child protection officials, saying, "Remember her name for the rest of your career. Say it every day. Remember why she isn't here anymore." Candace said, "It's all we're doing is putting one foot in front of the other." Emily promised. Emily's making it her life goal to make sure the laws changed, and Iris's memory lives on forever. Frank said, "CYS dropped the ball. They should have acted after April. It is just horrible. This is something that shouldn't happen to anybody. That beautiful baby. It's bad enough to do something like that, but to research it. But to do it to a baby, I don't understand. I couldn't do that to an animal." He also later said, "We want to change the law to prevent this from happening. At least change it to the point where they have to have supervision, visitations, if something is wrong." The day after Iris passed away, Emily posted, "I have no words for what has currently happened to my beautiful angel baby. Never in my life I thought I would be saying goodbye to the biggest light in my life." I have no words for this case. I mean, I have words, but...
Yeah, I have words too, and a lot of rage.
Yeah. I guess some of the things that I have question about is, where the fuck was the dad during this whole time?
Yeah, so when the last incident that ended up causing Iris's death, but all the incidents before then, where the hell was the dad?
Yeah.
The mom stated that the Orbeez and Iris's diaper, in her stool, was continuous. So where the hell was he?
Yeah. Well, and the day that she was sent to the hospital, why the fuck was he going to the grocery store only a couple hours before dropping Iris off?
Yeah,
And he said that he was getting stuff for Iris, but wouldn't you just bring Iris along and then just drop her off on the way home?
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not placing the blame on him, but I'm questioning his decisions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the other thing is, after it happening multiple times, Bailey didn't question anything.
Yeah, especially if Emily is like, "Hey, this is still happening. What the hell's going on?" Or even after the first incident when they went to court and CYS was contacted, he didn't think in his head, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's no other kids in the house.
Yeah.
So where the hell is Iris getting all these Orbeez and a screw and
fucking batteries?
Yeah. Where the hell is she getting all this stuff? Clearly it's gotta be Owens.
Yeah.
And he doesn't think, oh, she's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, she's not doing anything. She's trustworthy. I don't know. I'm not buying it that he didn't know at some point.
Yeah. Me too.
I have a book. So when the judge ordered co-parenting classes, it kind of irked me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the co-parenting was going very well. Both parties said that, both parents were very involved in her life. Everything was going well.
They were communicating.
Yeah.
And she was even letting Iris go over and spend time with Bailey when it wasn't his day.
Yeah. So, and granted, I didn't research this case, but to me, it's a safety issue, not necessarily co-parenting.
Yes.
I could see if it was co-parenting was ordered for co-parenting classes because safety is also supposed to be covered in that. Yeah, I'm at a loss.
Unless when Emily filed for the
emergency petition.
Yeah, the emergency the emergency petition. Bailey came out and was making a big fuss about it, and was maybe the judge seen that and just assumed it was co-parenting.
Yeah, could be.
Still, it.
Something else I thought was worthy to mention is trying to force a parent to do something out of fear when no one is listening to either parent, the reasons for the fear, the safety that they have for their children, and no one's listening to those fears to begin with, and then using fear to get the parent to kind of agree to what is happening. Like, oh, well, you could actually lose custody of your daughter, Emily, if you don't do this.
Mm-hmm. If you actually go through with this, you're gonna have consequences.
It's like, what about the consequences of whatever the hell's happening to my daughter? Which leads me into my next one, the CYS. It kind of sounded like they informed the parents when they were showing up, and my understanding that there are instances where CYS or Child Protective Services, depending on where you happen to be in the country, there are instances where they do tell you that they are going to be coming to your house.
Yeah.
There are also supposed to be instances where they do a surprise visit. So was this one of those cases where they said, oh, hey, I'm going to be there Wednesday at 4:00?
Yeah.
So then the parents can
make
hide
it look,
stuff or look like, oh, it's safe. Like, we don't.
There's nothing wrong here. I don't know if it was a surprise or scheduled. It almost seems like it was probably scheduled.
Yeah. And that would give Owens time to hide all the Orbeez and whatever else she had.
And the thing is, just to go in there and check off a list, shouldn't you sit down with the people that you're...
You would think you would want to have a conversation with them. And also, as you're going through the house, you are going through the house.
Yeah,
not just like visually, like, I don't know. I guess I don't know what the regulations are in Pennsylvania, but it definitely needs a change.
Yes.
And it's bullshit that it taking a baby dying for there to even be a conversation about it. We already touched on this a little bit ago, but Iris coming back to her mom with the same manner. So Orbeez continuously being in her diaper, or in her stools in her diaper. Maybe she didn't know, but I would have filed every single time, emergency petition every single time, and then I would have explained my child is not going back there. She is not safe. Where is she getting these water beads from?
It could be another thing that we were talking about earlier, that they were kind of threatening or...
Yeah. And I understand that fear too. But also, why the hell wasn't the dad questioning it?
Yes. I have no idea. And I haven't, when I was searching this, I didn't find a single thing said from him. No, nothing.
So that just makes me suspicious of him as well. I mean, how can it not?
Yeah. How can this happen to your child without you knowing?
Yeah. And that also leads me, how was he not suspicious of his girlfriend? But she calls him, she's on the phone, she tells him that she was in the living room, Iris fell off the bed. But then she tells the police that she was in the room and she performed CPR and she started choking, or she was feeding her and she started choking.
She started cramping. That's what she said.
So which one was it?
Yeah.
I mean, clearly she wasn't in the room, but
that's why police said that their stories wasn't lining up.
Yeah. I am
something's obviously
something's obviously very off. I am anticipating an update for this case for sure.
Yes, me too. Hopefully we'll hear something soon and she gets the correct punishment that she deserves. And I hope that laws can be changed. Like the grandfather Frank said, even if it's just visitations, like monitored visitations when something happens. Like something needs to be done.
Absolutely.
This was another hard case.
Very.
As I'm strangling my blank.
Today's second case will take place in the state of Oregon. This is the case of the Longo family murders. Christian Longo was born on January 23, 1974, in Ypsilanti, Michigan. He has been noted as being charming and ambitious. Mary Jane Irene Baker was born on April 25, 1967, in Ann Arbor, Michigan, to parents James D. and Susan Baker. Mary Jane had one brother, Mark, and four sisters, Jennifer, Sally, Penelope, and Karen. She graduated from Huron High School in 1985. She would meet Longo and they would get engaged and then marry in 1993. They would have 3 children together. Zachary Michael Longo was born on February 28, 1997, and was only 4 when his life was taken from him. Sadie Ann Longo was born on April 30th, 1998, and she was only 3 when her life was taken from her. Madison Leanne Longo was born on October 19th, 1999, and was only 2 when her life was taken from her. To the outside world, the Longo family was literally perfect, always taking their kids on vacations, always doing things together. Christian was the loving father and husband who worked hard to give his family everything they needed and wanted. This was a lie. Mary Jane was a stay-at-home mother, and she loved spending time with her kids. She worked hard at providing a loving home for her husband and kids. This was true. What nobody knew at the time was Christian could never follow through with all of his ambitions. He would try new ventures, but they would fail. He kept the financial problems from his wife and friends. He wanted to uphold the appearance that he was doing well in front of his family and friends. Since the work part wasn't working for him, Longo chose to pursue fraud as a way to generate income. He would forge checks, steal credit cards, and racked up thousands of dollars in his own credit card debt. Things would get so bad for Longo that he would eventually get his family evicted from their home in 2001. He would tell his family that they would move to Newport, Oregon to hopefully start over. Moving to Newport, Oregon did not help, and around Christmas time of that year, Longo would take the lives of his entire family. On December 19th, a fisherman found a body floating in the water near the Lint Slough Bridge. The police would be called and the victim would be identified as Zachary Longo. Zachary had pillowcases tied to his little legs, and inside the pillowcases were a bunch of rocks. On December 21st, a body would surface around the same area as Zachary. Police were able to identify the victim as Sadie. Sadie also had pillowcases tied to her little legs, and inside the pillowcases were a bunch of rocks. Divers had been called to do a search on the waters for any other victims. On December 26th, divers found 2 suitcases. Mary Jane was in one suitcase and Madison was in the other. Both suitcases were loaded down with dumbbells and clothes. Christian Longo was nowhere to be found. Through the investigation, police found that Longo drained their bank accounts and had fled. A federal arrest warrant was issued on December 27th. That was also the day that Longo was put on the FBI's 10 Most Wanted list. The FBI tracked him to Cancun, Mexico. He had used a stolen credit card to purchase a plane ticket from San Francisco to Cancun. He had been traveling under the name Mike Finkelstein while in Mexico. Mike was an actual person, and he had a career as a travel journalist for the New York Times. Longo was out partying, resort hopping, living his life without a care in the world, like he didn't just brutally murder his family. On January 13th, 2002, Longo was finally arrested. Longo was hanging out in a grass hut campground at a beach resort in Tulum. Tulum is about 80 miles south of Cancun. When the FBI and the Mexican police officers found him, he was just relaxing. He did not put up a fight. He was arrested and extradited to the United States. The police questioned him, and his version of events went like this. He came home from work and told Mary Jane about everything regarding the financial trouble they were in. She became enraged, and in the fit of rage, she killed Zachary and Sadie.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Longo said he then became angry and killed Mary Jane for revenge and then decided to kill Madison out of pity. Just fucking... The rage I feel is just... The police did not believe this story. Nothing supported that story in the slightest. What did match up was that the murders were premeditated. During the trial, the results of the autopsies were revealed. Zachary and Sadie had died from asphyxiation, and Mary Jane and Madison died from strangulation. So he literally suffocated his 2 older babies and then strangled his 2-year-old.
Asphyxiation is like when you put a pillow over their face, and then strangulation is obviously the neck, hands, throat, whatever. Yeah. Oh my God. What truly happened? Well, the financial problems go back to Michigan, if you remember at the beginning, before Longo and Mary Jane even got married. Longo had lied to his future bride. When he proposed, he had given her an engagement ring that he couldn't afford. So he had stolen the money from his employer and bought the ring. After they were married, he gifted his wife a new stolen van. He was in a lot of credit card debt and began forging checks. He was caught and sentenced to 3 months probation and had to pay back the $30,000 he had stolen. He couldn't keep up with the payments, though. He was caught cheating on his wife, and then they were evicted from their home. He felt that they had to leave Michigan immediately. So he pawned Mary Jane's engagement ring to pay for the moving expenses to move across the country. December 16th, 2001, Longo came home from work. He felt he needed to cover up all of the lies of an affair or affairs, money, and work. Everything was coming to a head, it seems like, so he was probably getting ready to go to jail for more of his crimes. Why not just add to the list?
Yeah, apparently. He decided to kill his family. When he got home, he strangled his wife, then his baby girl, Madison. He stuffed their bodies into 2 separate suitcases with dumbbells and clothes to help them sink. He then took the suitcases to the car and put them in the trunk. He would then proceed to go to where his other children were sleeping, and he would strangle his son Zachary and then his daughter Sadie. He would put them in the car. He would tie pillowcases full of rocks to their legs. Longo would drive to the Linslow Bridge that runs over the Alsea River. He would toss Zachary and Sadie into the water first. Once he saw that they were sinking, he then threw Mary Jane and Madison into the water. In the days after the murders, Longo is mentioned as renting a movie from Blockbuster, hanging out with friends, and going to a company holiday party. At this holiday party, he gives a bottle of his wife's perfume to a coworker. When he hears that the police have identified his son Zachary as the body that showed up in the river, he decides he needs to leave town. He steals some credit cards to purchase a plane ticket to head to Mexico. In April of 2003, Longo was convicted of 4 counts of aggravated murder and was given the death penalty. He appealed his conviction, and every time the ruling still stood. It was said that he was scheduled to be executed, but a moratorium by then-Governor John Kitzhaber was put in place to stop executions until a review of the death penalty could be completed. On December 13, 2022, Governor Kate Brown declared that the death penalty would no longer be an option, and all inmates on death row would have their convictions changed to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
I find that very stupid.
I agree.
Just let the ones that are on death row finish.
What the prosecutors started.
Yeah.
Good Lord, So I had a couple of thoughts. So I watched a couple of the videos from the trial, and the so-called father looks
That's
smug.
not what it said.
Yeah, well, piece of shit. Looks smug. Literally up until the time it is for the jury to come back with a verdict, then he starts crying. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. He hangs his head and then starts crying. The prosecution had basically stated that Longo is a selfish and self-centered individual who wanted to live a life outside of his means, and he figured once his family was out of the way, he could do that. Instead of just leaving his family, he decided to kill them.
Oh, no words, really, for this piece of garbage.
Mm-mm.
And he's still in prison, right?
Yeah, he won't. He will die in prison.
Yeah. I don't really have a lot to say about this.
Yeah.
Except for that he's a psychopath, and
yeah. I
don't know how you can do that to your own family.
Mm-hmm.
Even just random I don't know how you do it, period.
Right.
The only reason I see killing is killing pieces of shit like him.
Yeah. I do not understand. I know he was going down a really bad path. He had a lot of crimes to answer for.
Yeah.
But that's not on his family. That's on him.
He could have easily just left.
Mm-hmm. He could have. I mean, he already drained their bank account, so he literally could have left.
And disappeared.
Instead,
he had to take his family with him.
Yeah.
The only really thought I had was, it almost seems, I don't know if it's just the cases we choose, but it almost seems like money leads to murder.
Yeah. Whether they have it and then they don't have it, or they don't have it and they want to get it, so they kill for it. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I also noticed that our cases seem to line up a little bit.
Yeah. Both got children in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, these were definitely hard to listen to.
And last episode was both were family members that killed other family members.
Yeah. And then I want to say before that it was like, and this was before we even talked to each other. Like we
Yeah.
just started researching cases.
We don't.
And then like the unsolved murder mystery one that we did, we both did.
We don't talk to each other
Mm-mm.
when we're doing our own research.
Yeah.
Except for maybe a little bit after we've already both done a decent amount of research in our case.
Or started typing everything up, and it's like, oh yeah, that's what. Yeah.
And we'll just say like the gist of it because we don't want to say the whole thing.
Yeah, we want a little surprise.
Even if they're horrible.
Yeah.
Once again, I really have no words that explain how horrible these cases are. Our hearts go out to the victims in both these cases and all the individuals affected. With that is all we have for today. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or comments, you can find us on Spotify and Instagram at Girls Gone Curious Podcast. Until next time.